Hi friends, Embers, welcome back to my channel. This is the final video in the crochet pattern tutorial series. And today we're going to go over the final section, which is your special stitches and notes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to learn to translate while working the pattern a little bit. All right. So the special stitches and notes section will cover any final things that you'll need to know to finish the pattern. So specifically for this pattern, we have 2 special stitches that are required, which is a front post double crochet and a back post double crochet. And then here in the section it actually tells you how to do the stitch. So a front post, or the front and back post double crochet are just like a regular double crochet, except you'll weave your hook between 2 stitches, like 1 or 2 stitches on the previous row, to yarn over and pull through before you make your next stitch. So it tells you how to do that. If you have any further questions, so if you're reading through the instructions on how to complete the stitch and it doesn't seem like or it's not clicking, some people need an actual visual representation, you can always go onto YouTube, kind of like how you found me, and you'll want to type in front post double crochet tutorial and a video will pop up and it will show you how to make that stitch. And you can do that with just about any stitch or any technique you could possibly think of. Then the last part of the special stitches section is a note. Sometimes notes and special stitches will be separate. In this case, since it was only a couple lines, I just put it all together. This says the chain 2 worked at the beginning of a round does not count as a stitch. Do not turn at the end of the round. So what that means is to do a double crochet, you need to do a chain 2. This helps keep the tension equal instead of like only having a single chain and then doing a double crochet. It's going to be squished. Chaining 2 lengthens the stitch out to keep the tension equal throughout the entire piece. Some patterns will use that chain 2 as a double crochet. In this case, it's just a start for the row. And when they say do not turn, normally when you're working like along a row, when you get to the end, you turn it over the other way and start working back. When you're working in the round, which is usually what you do when you're making hats, you don't turn it because you want the outside of the hat to be uniform and the inside of the hat to be uniform. So, without further ado, let's get started trying to translate this pattern. So the first thing we have to do to make this hat is we're going to follow these instructions, and of course it is not going to focus. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, so this is hat, chain 3, then slip stitch into the beginning to close, or to make a ring. So we're going to do that. I'm going to use white yarn because it is the one that was closest to me and already unraveled. And then we're going to do the first step. So we're going to make a slip knot. This is the way I prefer to make slip knots. You do not have to do them that way. So on my hook, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to go back, take my needle, and go back into the first stitch and just pull right on through. So what this will do is it's going to make a little circle, kind of. Okay, for the first round, we're supposed to CH2, work 12 DC in ring, slip stitch in first DC to join 12 DC. So what this is saying is we need to do 2 chains, and then we're going to work in the center of this ring. So in this tiny little hole right here, we're going to do 12 double crochets, and at the very end, to close the round, we're going to slip stitch back into the first stitch so that it's closed. All right, and let me just go do that off camera real quick, and then I'll bring you my results. Okay, so here we are. So in that chain, I worked 12 double crochet stitches. So here's my chain 2, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then I took my yarn and I slip stitched back into the top of this very first double crochet. So that's my closed round. Looks like it's going to be actually a really comfortable hat. There's a little bit of squish. All right, now we're going to start round 2. So according to the pattern, it says chain 2, 2 double crochet in each stitch of the previous round, slip stitch in first DC to join 24 double crochet. And then I do have these instructions typed out into that amazing little document that I have that I made for this specific series. So you can always use that to help stitch along. So I'm going to go through and we're going to do that, and then I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So what we're doing in this row is we're starting to increase the size of the top of the hat. So we're over here. Here's my chain 2. There's the first 2 in one stitch, second set of 2 in another, so that's 4. Here's 6, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, 11, 12. So we're halfway through. So we're only on the 6th stitch of the first round. And then we have 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So that's all 24 stitches needed to complete the round. And then we're back and we're slip stitched in the first double crochet of the round. Awesome. And then once you get the hang of this, this is actually a very helpful skill to have. You can also use this knitting or crocheting in the round for granny squares. You can make other hats, not blankets, baskets with the thicker like linen like yarn. You can use this for making homemade scrubbies. It has a lot of practical purposes. And then finally, we're just going to do up through round 3. We're going to chain 2. Then we're going to front post double crochet in around the first 2 sets of stitches of the double crochets. So around these 2, we're going to front post double crochet. And then we're going to double crochet in the next stitch, or the next 2. So we're going to do 1 front post double crochet, and then 2 clusters of 2 stitches. So front post, 2, 2, 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 front post, 2, 2. And that's how we're going to end the round. So you'll have 12 front post double crochets and you'll still have 24 double crochets. And here we go. We have the final we have the third row done. So we're starting here with a front post. Then we have 2 clusters of 2, a front post, 2 clusters of 2, a front post, and 2 clusters of 2, front post, 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 and the remaining stitches. And then I slip stitched back into this first one. So moving forward, this is all the further we're going to go with that pattern. I am going to do a tutorial on how to do a front post double crochet and a back post double crochet. Those are going to come in a couple of weeks. I have some other videos that I already planned, so those are going to be a little bit down the line. So if you do have any questions about that set of stitches, you can always let me know. Otherwise, I will see you guys next week. You can like and subscribe to my channel, and then you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram as Forged by Blackfire, or on Twitch at twitch.tv/Blackfire2013. I'll see you guys soon, and I'll be back tomorrow on my page with another post. Have a good one.